I love social media. I don't. There are times when I absolutely hate social media. And since I'm the person for Melrose that does the scheduling and the content creation, that's kind of a tough place to be. And a few years ago, 2 years ago to be exact, I did a 4-part series to help you as store owners kind of get a handle on your social media, maybe just kind of give you some ideas and slowed things down and give you some examples right off the phone so that you could see what is necessary in social media and how some little tips and tricks work. Well, when I hit the front of this year, I realized I'm completely burned out on social media myself. And if I'm burned out, there's probably a lot of other social media managers at Melrose throughout our stores that are also having a difficult time. Part of that comes from the fact that Meta, who owns Facebook and Instagram, are constantly changing the algorithm. They're constantly changing what is going to be pushed and what is not going to be pushed. And so we fight. We fight as social media schedulers to try to get our content out there and to try to do it organically where we're not paying for everything. And that's a really tough thing to do. So right after market last year, I would say I was doing pretty good. I was all jacked up, excited about market, excited about the new products. And I kind of started to see, especially on Facebook, we were dying, we were dead. And that's depressing and that's sad. So I decided this is the time. This is the time that we need to have a new 4-part series to try to help what has changed in the last 2 years. Because 2 years ago in social media is like a really long time ago. And so one of the things that I did is I paid money out of my pocket and I decided to take a class on the algorithm and I decided to take a class on social media just to see if there was something that I was missing. And when I took that class, I took a whole bunch of notes. And at the end of the day, at the end of the class, was I missing something? Yes and no. I didn't really learn anything new, but the way I looked at the information that I had was new and different. And I came out of that class motivated and excited again to be able to take a look at our social media and try to really shake things up. So this new 4-part series, we're going to call this social media number 5 right here, where we're starting. We're going to have 5, 6, 7, and 8. It's designed for you, the store owner, and it's also designed for your staff that works in social media. So the first thing I want you to do is make sure that you share this, because it's great if you know and understand social media better, but it's really important for the person that's doing the actual scheduling and creating those messages that they are able to be involved in this. And it might be 2 or 3 people with your company, might be 5. So what I want you to do is to always subscribe to Melrose. Make sure that you're following our new updates on YouTube, which is where we're going to place these, and we're going to put these in our email blast. If it's in your email blast, we'll go ahead and copy that URL and share that with your employees that are going to be working in social media, because it's for them too. I took a class. The class was 3 hours long. It was on a Zoom. It was live. There was an instructor, and there were 171 social media schedulers in the group and in the chat. And when I say I got a lot out of the class and I got kind of excited, part of the excitement for that for me was being with 171 other people that are battling the same exact thing that I am, which is Meta is suppressing my content. And that is so hard. I mean, I started 16 years, I think I figured it out 16 years ago, when Facebook first came out and you put those first posts on the page and you say, share this with somebody you know. I mean, we didn't even have followers and we just had likes. And it was easy because instead of having mass media where you had radio, TV, newspaper, and you went and you had a sales rep and they sold you ads and you placed them and then you got your results, all of a sudden you were your own media. However many times you posted, it made a difference on your reach and your frequency. As they evolved, and as soon as Facebook decided to go public, that changed because now Meta focuses on how long all the people using the platform are on there. They want them to be on there a longer period of time because that's how they make their money. And where does the money come from? The money from Meta and their shares comes from you. You're the advertiser. And so what they're doing is they've taken all these business accounts and they've suppressed it. And they've suppressed it to the point where unless you're going to boost your posts and give them some money, you're not going to be seen. And that's what's really hard for us, for the people that are creating the content and trying to figure out the schedule. Some of the rules of advertising are still the same. We still need to have reach, we still need to have frequency, and we have to make sure that our content is always on message. But what's different is Facebook and Instagram itself, because now they've evolved in the last decade. They're driven by their shareholders, and they want to make sure that they are getting paid for their service. So one of the things that I got out of the class that I thought was really beneficial is watching in the comments on the Zoom from the 171 people that play social media, how much of your content is actually being delivered to your customer or to your followers on each of those social media platforms. Did you know it's only 5%? Ouch. I mean, every time you post, if you have, let's just use really easy numbers, okay? If you have 1,000 followers, you have more than 1,000 followers. You know this. You can do your own math right along with me. You're only reaching 50. That means only 50 people even saw it in the feed. The rest of the 950 did not even see that post that you made. That's not good. Those are not good numbers. So what does that do to us? It makes us have to play the numbers game. So then all of a sudden, the frequency of the posting becomes very important for that organic reach, right? So like if we reach 50 with this post, then we have to have another post to reach another 50. We have to have another post to reach another 50. So in order to get to those numbers that we used to have in the past, we're posting all the time. We're creating content all the time. And that's exhausting. And that's where the burnout factor comes into play. So there's two things you can do. You can stay with the organic reach and stay with the organic push that you're working with, or you can pay Meta. And when you pay Meta, you can boost your posts. Now, I asked before I came, because I took some of these screenshots, how big of a difference does that make for even big companies like America's Mart? So we're here in Atlanta at America's Mart. They have a bunch of posts that run before market. And so this screen right here, I'm going to show you right here. Look at this. This is a post that is organic. Look what the reach is on this post. It's very, very low. But now let's take a look at what happens when you have a boosted post. Now this post here, thousands more views, 16,000 views. Are you kidding? It's the same piece of content. What happened? Well, the difference was they decided to boost that post. And so they will have their own marketing budget and they will decide which different pieces are going to be boosted and which ones are not. So this is something that comes into your advertising budget meetings. How much you're going to spend boosting your post in Meta, and then which pieces of content really matter. And so in this series, the next thing we're going to talk about is the actual content that you're boosting. Does that make a difference in how successful you're going to be? I think that it does. So the next part of the class kind of evolved into what's really important to you. Does it really matter what the algorithm thinks, or does it really matter what you think? And I was reminded of something I've known forever. As a matter of fact, I think I already cut a video for you guys on this over the last 5 years. It doesn't matter if your views are really, really high or if you go viral, if it doesn't make sales for your store. And so sometimes we get caught on that hamster wheel of trying to please the algorithm and make sure that they're happy at Meta and not realizing that we need to be happy in our store. And so for me, or even just for Melrose, let's just talk just about Melrose, not even some of my other retail accounts. We have to always be thinking, does this content deliver something for the viewer that they're interested in and not something we're interested in? So with the example of Melrose, you know, I would love to sell you this vase right here, because selling products is what we do. That's how we make our money. But this might not be of interest to the viewer. So I have to find a way to create that content that is always talking to the person that is our target market. Who is the person that has an interest in our products, and what do they want to know about? What do they want to hear? And so when you're talking to your customers, I'm assuming that you are a home decor, gift, floral buyer, garden center. Those are our big customers. You need to talk about what it is that the end buyer, your customer, is going to want and what benefit this product happens to bring to them and into their life, and doing it in a personal, fun, social way. Now, the other part of the class, we kind of went down this rabbit hole, if you will, of what are the metrics that you're measured by. And so for me, whenever I start working on a new account, and I've done this for Melrose since 2019, that's when I started, I have these spreadsheets that I send every single month. And in there, I don't look at how many views I had, how many playthroughs I had. I don't look at how many likes we get on a post. I even had a really nice retail account out of New York say to me, do you get depressed? Because it doesn't seem like you get comments on the Melrose stuff, and I watch it all the time. And I said, no, I don't actually get depressed about that, because the metrics for me are not the metrics that are the same for Meta. So for me and for Melrose, what we're looking at is we're looking at follower growth long term. So not today, not this week, but over a few months, have we increased the followers, and are they watching our content? And so the other thing will be, I don't follow views. And if you've been doing social media for a long time, you know that Facebook dropped some of their analytics and some of their insights. They just got rid of them because they weren't good numbers across the board. So what I look for is how many people will look at a video, start the video, but finish it. That's what's important. So for us, it's not we need 50,000 people to see a video that I put out there. We want 5 people that are really interested, that are our target customer, that are engaged with and follow and watch the entire video. So what we use as a gauge is important for who we want as a customer. So right now, what I would encourage you to do is get together with your team, sit down and list it out. What is important for you? What's going to grow your business and get that to be a solid growth in the next few months, few years? Because I'm always looking longer term. Now, if you're wondering what class that was that I took, it's called F the Algorithm. I'm not associated with them in any way. I just took the class. It was 3 hours. It was a Zoom call. Cost me $100 out of pocket. I did think it was worthwhile because when I was in the call, I got to read all the comments of the other social media schedulers and what their concerns were and whether or not they agreed with the person teaching the class. And so that feedback to me was worth it. The other thing that made it worth it to me is even though I've worked in marketing, I'm going to say a lot of years, I'm not going to tell you how many, but I don't give away that exactly how old I am. But even though I've been around it, I've read lots of books, I listen to podcasts, I, take classes and have done that for years and have worked with hundreds of retail accounts to help them with brand marketing and helping them with their reach and their frequency marketing. It's good to hear from other people and it's good to be reinforced. And so what I found out of that 3-hour class was I was really reinforced with the things that I know to be true in advertising in general and in marketing in general, and not the things that Meta wanted me to do.